Okay, let's do a little rumor roundup on the GoPro Hero 12. DJI Action 4, this camera was announced recently. Insta360 came out with their Go 3 recently as well, and the only one that hasn't announced their new camera this year is GoPro. But because they are on a yearly cycle, we assume that GoPro will be coming out with a new camera, probably called the GoPro Hero 12, although even there's rumors about that. Because the rumors are all over the place, I've put together a little list of like the top rumors to get you caught up to speed so you know everything that might be coming. With each of these rumors, I'm going to give it a likely or unlikely opinion from me. Now, to be clear here, yes, I usually am on GoPro's list where I get a camera ahead of time so I can make a launch video for you guys, telling you everything new with the new camera. But I have not heard from GoPro this year yet, so I know as much as you guys do. This is pure speculation today, but speculation, it's fun. And it gives me a chance to put in my predictions for this camera before it's come out, before I know anything about it. What do I think GoPro will do with their new camera? Okay, number one, the very first rumor, and it is everywhere. I actually think this rumor dropped like the day or the day after the Action 4 was announced, which was very clever if GoPro did leak this, but also clever for whoever potentially created a totally fake image that shows the GoPro 12 with a 1-inch sensor. Now, would a 1-inch sensor on the GoPro be amazing? Yes, absolutely. Like the current sensor that's in the GoPro Hero 11 is just a little larger than a 1/2-inch sensor at 1/1.9 inches. But it's not to say that action cameras can't do 1-inch sensors. This is the One RS. This thing has a 1-inch sensor. The Sony RX0, I think that has a 1-inch sensor. I don't have that camera, but I'm almost positive that also has a 1-inch sensor. So it's not that it's undoable for there to be a 1-inch sensor, but I do put this rumor in the unlikely category for a couple of reasons. The first one being we just got a new sensor on the GoPro Hero 11. With that 8:7 aspect ratio, you can now kind of choose to put that onto a 16:9 timeline or a 9:16 timeline while you're in post. This sensor is brand new. It's 1 generation old, and traditionally GoPro keeps the same sensors for multiple generations. I also just think that they would charge so much for a 1-inch censored camera, like a 1-inch censored GoPro would be so expensive that I think that they would outprice kind of their core demographic. But, and I put a huge but on this unlikely tag, but I will get to that in one of my later points. Kind of in my conclusion of this video, I'll explain why there might be a but on this whole 1-inch sensor thing. Okay, number two is a new processor. A GP3 processor is rumored to be in the GoPro Hero 12, and that I would say is likely. Like, upgrading the processor sounds like it makes way more sense in my mind than upgrading the sensor, and I do think that a newer processor would just give us a more stable camera, and because GoPro's, I'm sure they're gonna come out with some new feature set that's crazy and the camera can do AI or something like that, we do need a faster processor. So hopefully, if they do come out with a bunch of new features for the GoPro Hero 12, hopefully we do get that GP3 processor. And for this rumor, I would say likely. Okay, number three rumor, and this, hey, let me take a quick break here to thank the sponsor of today's video, EPIDEMIC Sound. If you guys aren't already using EPIDEMIC Sound, which if you're making content, I think that's almost crazy, they are the leader in YouTube music licensing. The whole thing with YouTube and making videos for this platform is that you need to own the rights to the music that you use. You can't just like pull a random song, throw it in your video, you will get a copyright strike, you'll get demonetized. And EPIDEMIC Sound, they kind of invented this whole subscription model basis where you pay, what is it now? $9.99 a month, and you can publish anywhere online. You can monetize one channel. So I can monetize this channel. I can make money off the videos that I'm making using their music. And you can download unlimited songs from their library of over 40,000 tracks. And I think it's something ridiculous. How many music? 90,000 sound effects. Over 40,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects. The best part though is that they have this whole feature set where when you log in, it recommends a bunch of songs based on the songs that you've downloaded in the past. It starts to learn your channel, and then it recommends songs that you're probably gonna like. If you wanna get started with EPIDEMIC Sound, shoot to the first link in the description, go over there and sign up for a totally free trial. During the free trial, you can download music, make videos with it, and post to your YouTube channel totally free. And even if you don't sign up, anything that you downloaded during the free trial and you post it on YouTube can stay online for forever. Okay, back to the GoPro rumors. Here we go. The rumor is that the GoPro Hero 12 will do 8K in up to 60 frames a second. It will do 5.3K at 120 frames a second, 4K at 240 frames a second, and then 1080 at up to 480 frames a second. And I gotta say, unlikely. The main reason being that it's unlikely is like, would you want a camera, a little pocket camera like this shooting 8K? Imagine the compression that this camera would have to do to shoot 8K. And then your computer would have to decompress that 8K footage that was like crazy compressed by this camera. Like the average person shooting a GoPro does not want 8K footage. Even 5.3K at 120 frames a second, I just imagine the file size would be so large that it would have to just compress the heck out of it. And again, then your computer has to keep up with 5.3K at 120 frames a second, and not a lot of people's computers are gonna be able to hang. GoPro is a consumer grade company. They don't usually, yes, pro is right there in the name, but it's not for like professional computer people. It's for people that are gonna take this home, they're gonna transfer this footage to their phones or transfer it to just a normal computer that they got sitting on their desk. Would I like there to be 8K? No. Would I like there to be 5.3K at 120 frames a second and 4K at 240 frames a second? Absolutely, that would be amazing. I still think it's unlikely, but I would want it. The only reason for 8K kind of brings us to rumor number 4, which is that the GoPro Hero 12 will shoot 30 megapixel photos, which is like, that's like my A7 IV shoots 30 megapixel photos. Does this one shoot 33 megapixels. So that would be very impressive to squeeze into this teeny tiny camera. But personally, let's say we get a 1-inch sensor or anything like that, I would prefer larger pixels and less of them than more pixels, just so I can have 30 megapixel photos. See, the trick with this camera, my big camera, the A7S III, it is a 4K camera, but only 12 megapixel photos. Why can this camera at 4K do 12 megapixels, and this camera at 4K, it can also shoot 30 something megapixels? It's because the pixels on the A7S III are larger pixels, which is why the A7S III is known as like the low light king. Larger pixels let in more light. If you just have a high resolution camera, the pixels to fit on the same size sensor, if you can imagine it, are teeny tiny pixels. So if I had a sensor this big and I had 12 megapixels, they're bigger squares to make up that same, but the same size sensor, 33 megapixels means that each pixel itself is smaller and there's room between the pixels. It just doesn't let in as much light. It would perform more poorly in low light. So 30 megapixel photos, I would put this one as unlikely, and I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't just crank the resolution just to have that spec on there. I hope that instead they get larger pixels so these cameras do better in low light. Number 5 is an interesting one, and that is, it's the rumor that the back screen of the GoPro is basically gonna be the entire screen. Like there would be none of this big black bezel and then kind of a larger chin on one side. They're saying that that's gonna be almost completely gone and we're gonna have almost a bezel-less rear screen on here, which, I mean, compared to the Action 4, I think it looks like the Action 4 has thinner bezels. It still has that kind of heavy, See, it still has that heavy one-sided chin right there. I kind of can't imagine the reason that we would need a full rear screen. And because I can't think of the reason we would need it, I don't know why they would do it. Like GoPro's been pretty good about chasing down features that we've all asked for, and I don't know that anyone's asking for like a full rear screen experience, like as in that would be a better thing. I almost worry that would be like more prone to breakage. Like a bigger screen just means that it might make the camera less durable. Number 5, full rear screen. I'm gonna put in the category of unlikely, but possible. Number 6 is one that I mentioned when this camera first came out, but then I changed my mind on. And that is more lens options that hook onto this lens mount that they made. See, GoPro made this really cool metal lens mount, and the Max lens mod, it fits on there perfectly, locks on, like it's a very strong lock. And when it first came out, I was like, oh, that's awesome. GoPro could have like 10 different lenses out there. They could have like a super wide angle one or like a telephoto lens, and you just lock it in place and be like, oh, it's my GoPro, but now I have like 10 times telephoto. How cool would that be? But the more I thought about it, I think I just think about like who uses these cameras and for what. And when you go down that road far enough, these cameras are made to be easy to use and to just kind of work in rugged and tough conditions. So this is a camera that you can just have in your pocket, you pull it out, you hit record, and it just works, or it's supposed to work. We'll get to that. And as cool as originally I had thought like more lenses would be, I kind of think that would just be like a hindrance. Like I'm glad that the Hero 11 now has 360-degree horizon lock without having to put the max lens mod on, because I just wouldn't do it. I didn't put the max lens mod on enough to think that I would need that and more different lenses built into the camera, or built for the camera. So number 6, more lenses for this. I don't think that GoPro used their last year thinking up more lenses that fit their camera. I'm gonna say unlikely. Okay, number 7 and final rumor that I haven't heard anywhere, but this is a rumor coming straight from me. There will be 2 GoPros coming. And the reason I say this is only because there was so much hype around this 1-inch sensor concept that if GoPro was to come out with a 1-inch censored Hero camera, I think that they will announce a GoPro Hero 12, which is like mostly just an upgrade from the Hero 11. And they will also, alongside of it, announce a GoPro Hero 12 1-inch sensor edition, which sounds weird, but if you think of the pricing model of something like the iPhone, there's the 14 Pro and then the 14 Max. So there's this one that's more expensive, it has more features, and it's for that person that's like, I like this camera a lot, but I'm willing to spend another $300, $400 to get like crazy features that most people probably don't care about. The GoPro Hero 12, the GoPro Hero 11, the main GoPro cameras, they have to appeal to a really broad, really wide audience. So they can't get super expensive. And again, like they can't have things like 8K, or they shouldn't have things like 8K, because then people's computers are just gonna get totally bogged down. Also, on the 8K thing, how would GoPro deal with 8K resolution at what, 60 frames a second and not overheat, when this thing at 4K 120 overheats in like 20 minutes? That makes me think that the whole 8K, 5K, that whole thing, that's probably unlikely. But this 2-camera model, that is kind of what they used to do. Like there used to be multiple GoPro models, and the black was like the best one. This was like the max phone, essentially. Like this was the top level, but now they kind of just went to like, hey, we sell one GoPro, the 9, we sell one GoPro, the 10, we sell one GoPro, the 11, they're all the black. But in this GoPro 12 world in 2023, there might be a GoPro Hero 12 and a GoPro Hero 1-inch edition. I have no idea what the name is gonna be, but that would make sense to me. Things that I have not heard on any rumor sites is like any talk about a newer, larger capacity battery. These guys are giving us what GoPro says is 120 minutes from them. I'm usually seeing between 70 and 80 minutes, whereas DJI is already offering 160 minutes on their batteries. You guys can see the DJI versus GoPro Hero 11 comparison, where I showed that, I mean, pretty much all day while running these 2 cameras, the Action 4 is getting way more battery life than the GoPro in the exact same settings. I had GPS turned off on this camera because this one doesn't do GPS internally. I had all the settings at the exact same thing. And yes, the Action 4 gets significantly better battery life. So I imagine, I don't know, it would be cool to see a battery from GoPro that is giving us comparable battery life to this. Then it would also be cool if GoPro responded to this whole magnetic mounting system, because this magnetic mounting system is by far the best in the action camera game, the DJI Osmo Action 4. I can pop it on, I can pop it off. I don't have to deal with thumb screws or worrying about, you gotta crank, oh, this one's on tight. Gotta un-thumb screw your GoPro, take it off, go over to your other mount, line it up, get the legs in there, get the thumb screw back in there, and again on the Action 4, 2 tabs and a magnet. Insta360 did the Go 3 pretty much has like a magnetic mounting system with 2 little clips, so I feel like GoPro could, I don't know, either come up with their own, or wait, that's not it. Come up with their own, or do something more clever than just the flip down feed. But honestly, the GoPro Hero 11, it has been really good. Like if you could just say, hey, David, what would you want for a GoPro Hero 12? I would kind of say like most of what this does already. I would love to see more battery life. I would love to see a better processor that might reduce the heat load so we don't have any overheating. And then I would just like to see the GoPro Hero 11 or 12 be as reliable as the Osmo Action 4. The reliability out of this camera is really what sold me on it. Like I liked the Osmo Action 3, even though if you looked at it side by side, I do think that the Hero 11 looked better, like the image quality was better. I would still have chosen this camera because I knew when I pressed the button, it was gonna work for me. I never had any issues with it. I never had to do the GoPro reset thing where you pull the battery out, you wait 3 seconds, you put it back in. Yeah, there's no such thing as an Osmo Action reset. You just don't do them. Okay, that is all the rumors that I have. That's all the rumors that I found. If there's any others that you've found that I didn't mention, put them in the comments below. I know there are a ton out there that I've kind of heard, but some of them got pretty wacky. And for the rumors that I did mention, let me know what you think. If they are gonna come out with 2 cameras, I think that'd be pretty neat. But yeah, let me know. I wanna hear your thoughts, and I will see you. So yes, I will get one. The GoPro Hero 12, and I will have a video ready for launch. So subscribe, follow along for that, and I will see you soon. Hey, I'll say something. Be my little tester. Okay, microphone check.
Microphone check.
That's pretty good. Look good? What's it look like on the screen?
There's an X in the screen.
There's an X? What's that mean?
I don't know.
What's it look like? Oh, that's just that's called the center marker. See, it's like doot doot. It shows you where the exact center of the picture is. Yeah, that looks good. Are you drawing on your face with an Apple Pencil? I love you, Bob. Hey, can you run inside?
Why?
Why? Dad's gotta work.
I want to work with you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.